Welcome, everybody. Well, to be clear, I don't even know how to say this. So, our last episode was released on August 5th, 2022.
That's actually not that long ago. I mean, not as long ago
It's
as I
not
would
that
have
long,
thought.
but I feel like there's a world of change since
Oh
we've done
yes,
this.
yes, quite a bit.
Did you know Ash is retiring after 25 years on the biz?
Is he? I didn't, but is he still the
You
same
did?
age?
He is still 10 years old
Okay, good.
after
That's
25
good.
years.
That's good.
Yeah, so the big news surrounding this last like couple months, and it really, I think that Pokemon likes to do these things where it's like it's not just the game that propels the game; it's the entire Pokemon universe that propels the game.
Yeah.
So I figured this was very like interesting strategy. So Ash in the anime, of course, that's the only way where you're gonna think Ash. It's not like he's in a fucking game or anything. Forget giving us what we want is to
Yeah.
play like Ash in a damn game.
Red.
um, but so they had this arc, this world championship arc in the anime where they had all the champions from all the previous regions, all of them. Cynthia, Dianthea, Iris, Lance, and some others, Steven, I think, or something along those lines. All of them you could think of except I think there was probably one missing.
What
Nah,
about
actually,
what
because
about
Lance.
Gary?
Not Gary was never champion in
Okay.
the anime. Yeah, but um, so they had all of them in an 8-person tournament, and Ash beat them all.
Amazing.
So he is now the world champion of Pokemon, and that is kind of it. And so for now, they've been on a hiatus for the last like probably 3 weeks or so, but they're doing the final arc for Ash in the show before they switch over to a completely new protagonist, which does not look as. I don't know if I'm ready for that, but
That's
it's a
a big.
completely.
That's crazy that they're doing that. Honestly.
It's actually nuts. To me, it was crazy that they made him champion. That was the first kind of nutto thing that
Yeah.
I've ever seen them do. It's like, oh, okay, they're committing to this actual story if he actually becomes a Pokemon master. Like, that's an actual thing. Um, so they're having this final arc. He's back in Kanto. He's going to be back with Misty and Brock. And they're going to go on one last thing for 12 episodes. And they're closing off his arc, closing off his story for now, because I feel like it's not gonna eventually. I feel like he'll still be in the movie because I'm not going to no movie with some red-haired girl and some blue-haired boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Some Gen Z
Yeah.
losers.
So I'm not going to the movies with them. So I feel like he'll be back eventually in the future, but they're closing off the Ash arc. So that was notable Pokemon news. And also, I don't know if you noticed this, they released a new game.
I
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
I did know that.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So we're here, obviously, after months and months of toiling away. First of all, there's 2 of us now, so this is an interesting tale.
That was one of the toils.
Yeah, one of the toils. Trust me, completely new world. So there's only 2 of us now. It's just Pat and myself. But there's a new game that came out, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. There could not have been a more game I was distant to upon release. Maybe Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Maybe that was a game.
Yeah, I don't think I even played those.
I played it and then immediately stopped. Once I beat it, I didn't even like try to go to the post game. I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm good here, and that's gonna be a running theme with actually this game too. But I don't think there's anything I've been more distant towards. But it came out. It did what Pokemon thing do, which is sell 10 million copies in
Yeah.
the first 3 days.
Best ever.
Best ever. But not the reaction I think the Game Freak and Nintendo and the Pokemon Company at least expected from this game. Actually, if you probably asked the workers, it was like, yeah, this is what I expected. If you
Yeah,
ask
at
people
this
who
point,
probably
we're
work
just
on the
hoping
game,
it sells a lot.
yeah, because Pokemon did something that they'd never done previously, which released 3 main titles within the span of 1 year: Pokemon Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond, Pokemon Legends Arceus, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And they've never done 3 titles, but I feel like it absolutely showed that they
Yes.
did 3 titles
Yeah.
in a year from how this game panned out.
It was. I like this better than yeah. I didn't play the Diamond and Pearl remix, but I barely beat Arceus if I beat it, and I liked this better. I actually haven't beat this game yet, but I did like it better than Arceus.
I don't know. I might have liked Arceus, but it was just different to me. The worst part about any Pokemon game is grinding. Like the grinding is
Yeah,
too much. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to fill out the Pokédex in Pokemon Legends Arceus, but then you had to catch things twice. You had to use the move 6 times. You had to
yeah,
see the thing 3 times. You had to find every tool in the book to create a Pokeball, and they borrow that in this game because you need to use every tool in the book to create TMs.
yeah.
Um,
Kind of annoying.
yeah, kind of annoying. It kind of exciting, but also annoying. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, okay, I have to find 4 Metatite hairs to
yeah,
to
great.
get Ice Punch. um, but an interesting
It's
take
just still
on
too
this game.
clunky of a series for like that to be something that isn't annoying as hell.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's still. I'm like, my mood was like I already wasn't sure about this game, and now you're asking me to do too much. You asking me? Can I also tell you I'd never learned about sandwiches throughout the entire period of playing this game.
Oh yeah, and that's the type of thing where I'm like, I will not learn about this. It's just
But
not gonna
here's
happen.
it's it's such a supposedly it's supposed to be this very important part of the game, but I also feel like maybe I'm bugging, maybe I walked past it, maybe it's in some town. But to be honest with you, there's no incentive to talk to the people in this game. It's
No, not
truly
at
a
all.
Gen
Not
Z
at
game.
all.
There's no incentive to talk to people, battle people. It is really just take a stroll as far as you can
Through like mobs
until
of
you can,
Pokemon.
yeah, and until you have to fight some school person or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, when did you actually decide that you were going to buy this game?
I think just when some of my friends were buying it, and I was like, yeah, I'll just get it. Like at this point, like sure. And then I think they all beat it
That's
before I did, so it like didn't even matter anyway.
that's what the Pokemon Company wants.
Yeah, just like this, like slightly cascading. You know, one person gets it and just convinces all the other people. Oh, I guess I played 20 others of these.
uh, yeah, there's just a new Pokemon out. That's what people say. There's a new Pokemon out. I guess
Yeah,
I'll check it
yeah,
out. How is it? Is what they'll ask. How is
yeah.
it? It is what it is. Which version did you get?
I got Violet.
Okay, I feel very validated in my choice
Did you
because I
also
got
get Violet?
Violet. I got Violet as well.
I mean, purple is just a
There's
cooler
something about
color,
Scarlet I
so
wasn't totally feeling.
I had to do it.
I think you know what's crazy? It was the outfits for me. It
Oh,
just
on
didn't
the
look
the
good.
actual cover
Scarlet.
art.
Yeah, not like the cover art. The outfits of the students.
Oh yes, okay.
It didn't make sense. Orange. I was
Yeah,
like, oh, all
yeah,
right, whatever.
I thought he just like looked cooler in general. And then
Yeah.
I like really briefly looked at the list of who's in the game, and plenty of them I like didn't even recognize. But I was like, oh, I think Violet looks better.
Yeah, that's what I said. Essentially, future. You know what? I like future. Let's
Yeah,
go into the
yeah,
future. That's essentially what I said. Um, let's look at the reception for these games thus far. So I want to go through a little bit of history with you, sir.
let's do it.
Um, IGN history, IGN score history for all the games. Pokemon notably does very well in
Yes.
IGN. Um, it is. Hold on, let me see. Are you getting a clicking sound or anything in your headphones, or is it just me?
I'm good.
Oh, okay, all right. So it's just annoying me. Okay. Um, Pokemon notably does very well in IGN. but I don't know. It seems like I don't know. It's been up and down, but we're here. So I got this list from Reddit of pretty much IGN scores for all the games thus far. So I want to say, but categorized by how much it was rated as. So I'm gonna start at the top, which is 10 out of 10 games. Has there ever been a 10 out of 10 Pokemon game for you?
Yes. Um, it would be hard to say that Gold and Silver were not that, and probably Red and Blue also. And I,
You are
I, I start to lose track personally after that, but they may have given
sure.
other ones.
Okay. So everything you name is 10 out of 10 in IGN.
Okay.
Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, and Silver. Pretty much everything from 2000 and
Yeah.
before is a 10 out of 10. The classics are rightfully classics. The next one comes in 9.6 out of 10, which is Pokemon Black 2 and Pokemon White 2. Something I wholeheartedly agree with.
Yeah.
Those are classic games. There's a reason why those games are like $1 million still.
It's so funny
9.5
you
out of
can't
10.
just buy these things digitally.
That's not right. I mean, I'm sure they'll make it available one day, but like up
Yeah.
to now, they're like, yeah, fuck it. 9.5 out of 10. Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire.
That makes sense, even though it's I think in retrospect way too high.
Yeah, I think so too. Gen 3 wasn't my favorite gen. And also it had to follow Gen 2, so I can understand why it would drop in a couple points.
Yeah.
Um Shocking. 9.3 out of 10. Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Okay, that's
This
very
isn't
high.
shocking to me. I like Sword and Shield.
I do too, but that's really high.
Okay. All right. Fair.
I think they're
Um
great, but that's really high.
okay. 9.3 out of 10. Fair. You know what? Really high. Could have been a 9 out of 10. Could have been an 8 out of 10. Sure. 9 out of 10. Pokemon Crystal, Pokemon Fire Red, Pokemon Leaf Green, Pokemon Black, Pokemon White, Pokemon X, Pokemon Y, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And I guess regular Sun and regular Moon. All of those are 9 out of 10. To me, hell no.
Yeah, that's insane.
Pokemon Crystal, I could see. It's a spin-off of the Silver and Gold. But inherently it's the same game,
Yeah.
but not as exciting. Fire Red and Leaf Green also follows the same deal. Um, Pokemon Black and Pokemon White, I like the games. They're very kind of like different leap into actual new stuff. I wouldn't give them 9 out of 10, but I understand why.
Yeah.
X
And
and Y,
especially
I
yeah.
pl- X and Y, I played once, and I have never played that game again.
And they got sequels,
Um,
didn't they?
no,
No? Okay. For some reason I
they
thought
got
those got part twos like Black and White did.
no X squared and Y squared, no
Oh,
Pythagorean theorem.
yes, yes.
uh, and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and Sun and Moon. Those are like I think those are games I would describe look good,
Yes.
but
Yes.
realistically, the
You didn't need to
experience I
play
had
them.
playing that game, yeah, I didn't have a great experience. 8.8 out of 10. Pokemon Platinum. 8.5 out of 10.
People did love
Pokemon
Platinum.
Diamond. I like Platinum.
Yeah.
I don't know if I gave it 8.8 out of 10, but honestly, this is just scaling Pokemon games. You cannot rate Pokemon games with actual games.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, you can't rate it alongside actual games because you'll be like, how the fuck did this get this and this got that? Um, so I'm pretty sure IGN is just rating this in comparison to how Red and Blue was. um, 8.5 out of 10. Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver.
How
I'll
those
say
Heart Gold and Soul Silver getting that low compared to the other stuff is very strange.
I agree with you there. It's not it shouldn't be this low. Um, 8.3 out of 10. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
That I mean, I have not played those, but that seems high also.
I would agree with you because I have not played those, but it seemed high for um games that essentially they're the Pokemon Go versions of the normal games.
Yes. Yeah.
Doesn't seem that
Exactly.
great. 8 out of 10 Pokemon Emerald. Sure. It is,
Yeah.
third break off to the thing, whatever.
But also that's
7.8
low for the uh for the score that Ruby and Sapphire
Ruby and
got.
Sapphire. I agree. It's like a whole point and a half below. 7.8 out of 10 Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
That's fine with me. I mean,
Nah, I thought these remakes were amazing.
did see? I don't even
Like they were.
remind me about these.
So these remakes were the remakes to obviously Ruby and Sapphire, but they had all those new megas in it. Um
Oh yes,
they
okay, no,
had
this was a good generation.
yeah. To me, that game is like I play this way more than X and Y, like a million
Yes,
times longer than
yeah,
X and Y. Um so I'm understand why it's so low. And now, currently the lowest IGN related game, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, a
that's
whopping
crazy.
6 out of 10.
I mean, that's like a we're fed up type of score, which again is like only related to the other games and not to regular games.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're right. But to be honest with you, all right. So they said the review says 6 out of 10. Okay, that's like the official header of it. The open world
If it's
gameplay.
that low, then a lot of these other ones need to be scaled down.
I agree. The open world gameplay of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is a brilliant direction for the future of the franchise, but this promising shift is sabotaged in numerous ways in which Scarlet and Violet feel deeply unfinished.
That's happened with like how why are they saying it about this game and not the other like six last games that have come out?
I agree. But this one feel if there was a game that felt unfinished, this is the game to me that feels unfinished.
Yeah, I will
Like,
say. I mean, I know not everyone is playing this game on a 4K monitor, but it looked insanely weird doing that.
I agree. And I will say this. And this is my take on how I knew this game was going to be different and probably they didn't put as much effort into it or something along those lines. In every Pokemon game, you can go into anybody's house you want. No will, no reason. They don't have to have anything. You can
Yeah,
go in there and just speak to people. I love my Baneri, and that'll be it. And you just leave.
yeah, like
They'll
so,
have
which kind of means they're just paying a trillion people to do one really basic programming task over and over instead of like making more cool shit in the game.
absolutely. This game, you can barely go into anybody's house. Everybody's house is locked off to the
Yeah,
world, and that was my. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could not. I could go without going in people's houses,
but
especially if there's nothing there. But listen, the best things in the world, especially in the original games, you had to get from going in people's houses unsolicited.
oh yeah,
Where
yeah.
would you have found Surf
Yeah,
had you not
exactly.
gone into
Yes, they were
somebody's house?
they were so hard. Oh my god.
You're like, I never got Surf. It was like, did you go into that house and sell it on City? Did you go
No,
into the
why would I
house?
do
Did you
that?
speak to the guy?
Your friend is so mad he had to walk all the way back there.
You gotta go all the you walk all the way back because you ain't find Fly neither.
Yeah, exactly.
um, but I'll say this: this is probably the least fun experience I've had playing a game, a Pokemon game at least, because I
I
felt so.
have never
Go
beaten
ahead.
one this slowly before. I'll say that.
That's another one. I have not. I finished the Elite Four. I finished the other task where they have you beat up all those children. But I have not done the one thing you're supposed to do, which is catch all those future Pokemon in Area Zero. I'm not. I'm
Yeah,
just like I'm good. I'm done. I'm not doing this. These Pokemon mean nothing to me. I'm smart enough to know that these will not be in any other games in the future. You won't be able to pull them out of Pokemon Home because they will not be compatible with
yeah.
any games in the future. why am I going to spend my time catching these Pokemon to never use them again? We can't even use megas that we earned
Yeah, yeah,
3 gens ago. We can't even use them anymore. So why the fuck am I going to? Why am I going to terrestrialize all these Pokemon for what? Like, I can't
yeah.
even
It
use
it is
the let.
weird that they keep using you know, like, I guess just like, to varying degrees of success, gimmicks, like, whether it's megas or the raids, or
Right, or
Gigantamax,
Gigantamax.
or terrestrial, whatever. uh but like, but we know that they don't hold on to them.
Yeah, it does to me. That is, it's just so. I have no interest in doing all these things if they mean nothing in the next gen. And I get what they're going for. They're the exclusive feature that's supposed to attract you to this game, but like they're never going to be used again.
Yeah,
So now all these games are within a vacuum, as opposed to actually being like part of this bigger thread or something.
yeah. It's weird that,
Um,
like, as the games went on, they got better at, like, transferring between generations, but then they
mhm.
started doing something else where, like, they gen locked them in different ways.
Yeah, and it's like
Why do that?
all we want is my Mega Altaria that I have in my game, that I've had, that's been sitting in Pokemon Home for the past 7 years, that I can't transfer into any other game, or else it loses its rock, or
Yeah,
Altarianite or something, um, loses something. So like I can't even play with them. And then also you can't use Pokemon Home until 2023. So like
which,
at least
like,
5 months after this game comes
yeah,
out, you can't use any of the Pokemon from before. So it's like, all right, fuck this.
it's so, they, I don't know so, they did this, like, fucking, what is it, this three in however, 13 months or whatever it was, how in the
Hmm.
with rapid succession these all came out, and it didn't really add up to anything. Like, like, back when they were announcing this, it was like, oh, they're gonna announce, like, something cool, like, that in a way these lead into the next ones, and that
Right.
didn't happen at all. And now it's like, okay, so the game sold amazingly, but look at the score drop off just in since the last ones. And you have to wonder if they'll care. I mean, presumably they will not care about that, but because a lot of the people buying these games are by no means reading the IGN reviews for them.
Yeah.
But still, it is weird that, like, for the first time they are this poorly received.
Yeah. It's a. It sounds. It's just like I feel like I don't know if they bit off more than they can chew. I found Arceus to be really, really good, in my opinion, in terms of it being so different from the original thing. Like
Yes.
it was like vastly different. Like you could walk up to a Pokemon and apparently like punch it in the face,
Yeah.
and that's all we ever wanted. I've I've always wanted to just throw something at it. It catches it, doesn't shake twice, shake once, get me out of here.
Yeah, that was
You
that
know?
stuff was great, but the stuff you were addressing earlier really sucked.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, so let's kind of go through this entire review of this game as how we would review other games.
Yeah.
Let's start with the starters. The starters for this generation. I don't know, man.
They're not great. I picked the Weed Cat, obviously, but I'm pulling up their pictures right now.
I feel like here's how I feel like. I feel like they purposely everyone picks their starters based on what the final form is going to be.
Yes.
Pokemon makes it a note to never reveal the final form
Yes.
until the game is over. You have to go through all types of leaks to figure out. We was in a leak. We saw the evolution from the side and be like, oh,
Yeah.
it's got an egg on its head.
And none of their
Oh,
final forms are good. I don't like these fucking humanoid final forms. We have got to get
no,
rid of them. They're
nah.
not
Carnival
cool.
Duck,
Yeah,
nah.
he's really bad. Uh,
Yeah, I agree.
the cat's final form is not great. It basically is like stupid Blaziken, and
Yeah,
uh, the crocodile is. It's cool that it's like more of a Bulbasaur Venusaur type of thing, but its face is dumb.
yeah. I don't know about any of these, to be honest with you. Like, it's
I would say the original versions look good. If they could
yes,
have, if they should have, they made them too weird from the original versions. Like, why did they have to do that? Like, you know, it could have been cool.
this is the first gen in a while. I just put my starter Pokemon away. I
Yeah, I really
I
like even going through it. I'm like, wait, which one is it? Oh yeah, okay.
yeah. I got the obviously not obviously. I don't want to say obviously. I picked Quaxley. Um, knew I didn't like the final form, but I also didn't like the final form of anything else. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, here's where we're gonna go. And then as soon as I could find that dolphin,
Yes. Yes.
I sw- I swapped it out with the dolphin as quick because the dolphin has the ability that's like I was like, this is amazing.
And the I would say the starters, at least at the point where I'm at, it doesn't even they're not even that much noticeably better than as they have been in the past.
Nah, they're not like noticeably better Pokemon. Like they're not game changers in any way, or not cool in any way. I feel like
Yeah.
the at least the starters for the last generation, Rillaboom, the Drum Monkey, the Soccer Bunny,
That
and
was at least like
Spy.
interesting.
Yeah, those are interesting. And they had forms. They eventually got their Gigantamax forms and all this
Hmm.
other stuff like that, and it all made sense. This I don't care. No,
Yeah.
not at all. Um, but those are the starters. It is what it is. Sprigatito, Fuecoco, Quaxley, pick whoever you want. At the end of the day, you're not taking this out of this damn game. I'm sure
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
not leaving. You're not leaving this generation. And be like, damn. I hope they bring them back.
And
Like
if you
you just
can, will you even remember the next time?
yeah. It's like, what's that? What's First of all, let's talk about this because we're about to head into Pokemon. We're at now over 1,000 Pokemon,
It's probably too many.
and it shows. It shows. it's, it sh- Probably too many is right,
Like
but
you,
I
it's
feel
gonna
like
be very hard to like. It's kind of. I mean, I guess a close comparison is like Magic the Gathering, but they put out multiple sets of cards every year. But
hmm
I guess the difference is that like they're not limited to just creature cards. Uh,
right.
they can put out all types of stuff. But even so, like there's some like Lechonk, pretty good. That's a pretty good Pokemon. But like
I I agree.
Smoliv, we have 10 trillion versions of this Pokemon.
It all started with Oddish, and
Yes.
then we made various versions. How about whatever electric rodent that there is, Palmy?
Yeah.
Just like we needed another
Yeah.
one.
Like stop, knock it off.
we have we have one every gen. At this point, you're wasting space on similar Pokemon,
Yeah,
like the same one.
the best one ever was Mimikyu,
I
and
agree.
that wasn't
I
really
agree.
that.
So here's my judging on how much I like this Pokemon in this gen because we got 103 added.
Yeah,
Um, I like them just based on how interesting they looked, but not too. Because some of these are go a little left, or
yeah,
actually are not interesting at all. I point to Palmy again of just like, okay, what? So, but to me, those the twin mouses, I'm just like, oh, okay, what's going on here? I'm not gonna remember the name of this Pokemon, but I was like, okay,
yeah. You know
let's see
why
what's
I,
going
I
on here.
resent all of these? I'm sure I've said this 20 times on the pod before, but the the Ruby and Sapphire versions of them, Plusle and Minun, I hate those guys
Mine,
so much. I hate them, and they
yeah, they're not
ruined
good.
all future iterations for me.
I agree. I agree. I'm trying to find what interesting looking Pokemon. I mean, Charcadet. These are the Mega Man Battle GX,
Yeah,
Battle X Pokemon.
I mean, I think we
They're
said it
interesting,
earlier. Like it's so much
but
like Digimon now.
yeah, yeah, that's what we say. Belly Bolt. Eh. Um, Mad Boss Stiff.
Yeah,
This is
they're
that
forcing
that
some of
this
these
is
names a little bit.
yeah, yeah. This is the Pokemon that's very integral to the game on one of the routes because it's like that asshole Arvin is trying to recover his Mab Stiff that went to Area X and got the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, yeah,
And he's feeding him sandwiches the entire game. And he's like, his legs started working again. This is
yeah.
amazing.
The sandwich thing was crazy. I can't believe the amount of prevalence sandwiches had in this game.
And even if he says no, you can't have a sandwich, they're gonna force you to give the Pokemon the damn sandwich. You're like, are you sure?
Yeah,
Are you
it
sure you
seems
don't
like
want to
you just
give him
want
a
to write
sandwich?
this one gag about this other Pokemon stealing a sandwich a million times.
Oh my god, I'm trying to find other interesting. So there's a Gen version, Tentacruel, but it's not like Paldean version. They're just like different.
Yeah, which is
They're
kind of
completely different Pokemon.
cool but weird.
Yeah, it's like, wait, you conditioned me for the
Yeah, yeah,
past four
exactly.
gens to be like, oh, this one is this way because of the weather, and now you're like, no, actually, these Pokemon all exist in the same thing, and they're just different. I'm like, that's kind of cheap.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
Cloth.
They tried with Palmy to make him different by giving him the 3 uh evolution, but he's still just kind of like goofy.
They don't even look that different. Yeah, I was not invested. I was like, ah.
Yeah.
Um, Cloth I like just because it looks funny.
Yeah, I like him too. He's weird. Uh
Uh,
I like I like Squawkabilly even though it's
Squ-
like a ridiculous thing.
it's a parrot and a pompadour.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's it.
Like
They're
it's
like, all right,
like Lechonk, good. Pair it with a pompadour. Another good thing. Like just make a normal animal kind of goofy. Like that's kind of what
yeah,
Quaxley looks like, and it's
yeah.
way better than like, the final form of Smoliv, Arbivola, which is just like this dumb olive tree. Like get out of here with that.
Let's see what else is out there. So I like they have the Strudel and Graphii. I liked it. I eventually caught one, and then I said Poison Normal is not a very good pairing.
Yeah,
At all. Poison Normal is actually kind of lame. Um, Let me see. Where else is there? Tinkaton was very interesting looking, but again, feels more Digimon
yeah,
than Pokemon.
yeah.
Um, Wug Trio again, not a fan. Feels like
Yeah.
just trying to rewrite
The
something.
dolphin was a very good one. Finally.
Dolphin is amazing. Dolphin is it's I feel like leaps and bounds ahead of most things for its
Yeah.
ability.
Yeah.
Like it's just I was like, all right, whoever came up with this snapped, but everyone else, I don't know. Cyclizar having nothing to do with the legendaries makes no sense to me.
Yeah. I
It looks
agree.
just like the legend. I was just like, what? Who the fuck?
Why aren't
Orthworm.
they like? Why aren't like stuff like the flamingo, which like is the like one of the least creative ones?
Yeah.
Why don't they like just make more that are just a normal animal but a little different? Like we don't need like some of these guys like
Flamingo
some of
needs a
these.
pompadour.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
If anything needed a pompadour, it's Flamingo.
Yeah. That would be great. Yeah. It's perfect.
Titan looked doofy and goofy. So I
Yes.
was like, no, I'm not getting this. Um Annihilate. They
Hilarious
got me with
name.
this one. I caught one. And I did all the stupid tasks they ask you to do to evolve Pokemon now. Use it 10 times.
Some
There's
of
a
them,
there's
it's
a
funny that like some of the stuff that was uh that like now some of the stuff you have to do sounds like the Polkagod codes you would see on message boards in the late 90s.
Push the truck.
Yeah, yeah, it's all like you actually do have to do that stuff now.
Surf down Cinnabar Island and you'll evolve.
I mean those
Only there.
those fucking those ones, the beasts, what were they called? The in the last gen,
Not
the
Ultra Beast.
Ultra Beasts. Yeah, those were basically Masigno,
Yes, I agree.
which I thought
I
was
agree.
cool.
I think there's a missing no reference in this game. I could be wrong. I forget. Um, the Dunsparce. Did you need an evolution of
I
Dunsparce?
did
Well, the
not.
Dunsparce is
I've
here for
never been
you.
his biggest fan, I'll say.
Nah, it's a. I got it, but I mean, to me, that's one of like I get the joke, but not really.
Yeah.
Um, they gave what's my man's name? It's King Gambit now, but they finally gave what's his name? B Sharp. Okay, B Sharp. They gave him an evolution, King Gambit.
Oh yes. Some of these
While
names
there's
are very weird.
yeah, first of all, while there's a way to evolve it, you gotta like kill like four. You gotta kill at least 10 Bisharp that are surrounded by little Bisharps, and to evolve it into this way. And
This guy is kind of sick,
yeah,
even though he's crazy looking.
he, yeah, he's good. He's good. I mean, I don't care for him, but he's like not that I don't care for him, but it's like I don't care about anything in this
Yeah,
game.
yeah, exactly. You can only care so much.
Yeah, I can only care so much. The past and future Pokemon. I wish
Interesting
I could say
approach.
yeah, but there's a but.
Exactly. Come on, we got Fluttermane.
The names to me are like, all right, come on now.
Yeah, why did they
Like,
do that?
yeah, I was a Great Tusk. Why do we need this? Oh, because they couldn't classify it back when they were found. I was like, you can classify them now.
Yeah,
This
or
is what.
literally just classify it as ancient Misdreavus, future Misdreavus,
Yeah,
whatever. Like,
it's
it's
we
right
don't have to
there.
do this. You don't have to do this. Um, Iron Thorns. I'm like, bro, I'm never gonna know that's Tyranitar if I walk up to Iron Thorn. Like I'm never gonna. I'm like, oh
Yeah,
shit, that's Tyranitar. Like, but
I'm
by
just happy I
name,
know
no.
the other names.
Yeah, yeah, this is true. But other than that, these won't be in any other games. I'm not getting Mechanical Delibird in
Yeah,
another game. Like,
exactly. Even though that would be
uh,
cool.
yeah, that would be cool.
That is again
But they
like
ruined
having
it.
like a Robo one is sick, but again, yeah, like oh, it's like not going to happen. I'm not getting this later.
So here's where they lost me. So and I'll say lost me because these are the first times of like legendaries in this game I've never even attempted to catch. I don't even care. They're Chinese.
Yeah, wasn't it why so
Qing Pao,
yeah, what
Wu
was
Qing,
like the reason
King
for
Lu.
that? Like after having him like in like a
I gotta
different
look it up.
like yeah, they're
We're in
all
Italy.
yeah. So why it's a very strange choice. Even like
I gotta look this up.
even the like all the like real country inspired stuff has always been like a little weird. Uh
Hmm.
Not like bad. I mean actually the one bad version of it was whatever version had like Team Thug or whatever they were. That was
Right.
just like racially ambiguous guys walking up to you going like, "Yo, yo, yo, we're gonna take all your Pokemon." I was like, okay, this is not the best look. But yeah,
It's not. So these aren't as worse as Calyrex to me. Still, Calyrex from the DLC for the last game.
yeah,
You know the tiny little deer that rode up on the horses
yeah,
with
yeah.
his tiny little
Very,
legs.
very dumb.
Yeah, very dumb. But still, these are like they have been referred to as cursed treasures and Pokemon of Ruin. These four legendary Pokemon were once four ancient treasures that had been corrupted by negative human emotion, which came into the position of the ancient king of Paldea. Like, all right, come on now. We're in
Okay.
Italy.
Yeah, so the Italians like hijacked a bunch of stuff from China. Is that basically like what you're saying?
It feels like it. Maybe it's a play. Maybe it's a
Yeah,
political thing.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a take on society,
yeah.
but not like
Not with
economics and
any
political.
actual implications. Just these are
Yeah,
the rare Pokemon.
and that's kind of it. I mean, I don't really feel like talking about the Pokemon weren't the highlight of this game to me.
No, no. I did like
Um,
jumping and falling really far on what's his name, the guy you
Koraidon,
ride. Yeah, yeah,
Miraidon. How do you feel about those? I mean, they give you the legendary to actually use at the end of the game, but by the end of the game, I'm like, you're a bike.
yeah, yeah. And I thought it was a cool way to like try to integrate like the
Yeah, it
legendaries
was
to
an
a certain
attempt.
degree are dumb because if you're going to be
Yes.
competitive, you can't use them at all. And if you are just playing the game, it's really like, I mean, you know, who I think we've talked about this before. Who is like going through the Elite Four or wherever with you know, a bunch of legendaries or anything. Like no one does that.
Losers are
Yeah,
losers absolutely
yeah.
are. I got my Ho, I got my Lugia ready to go.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm, you know, I've only ever done that in like a dire situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um but yeah, nah, nothing none of the Pokemon are hitting in this game. Let's talk about the Paldea region itself. If there is a highlight of the game, it's the region to me.
It is easily the it's the thing that makes the game look the most difficult.
Yeah.
Like just like on its face.
But I'll say this, but I feel like considering so the story and the paths, right? You're sent to travel around Paldea. But because of the way this game is formatted, it's unlike other games where every city and everything has its thing, right? Oh
Yeah.
my god, the shopping metropolitan of the world, or like this is the ghost city, or this is the city where the other trainer, the rival trainer lives, or anything like that.
Yeah.
I feel like based on how this game was structured, it really just felt like you were going around and just doing things, and you didn't have to get acquainted with the city at all.
Yes. And I like that they finally did like make them one that was easier, quote unquote, to do in any order. But it is
Yeah,
much harder to get a grasp on the world.
when you have to go to, and maybe this is just us being old, but because I don't. I like the region. I like the way it's set up. I like how it looks. I like how being able to travel around it. So I don't want to shit on the region. Region is the best part of the game.
Yeah.
But when you there's something about like going to these towns, like in I'll always remember Ekrutik City because there was three Eevees there and the Ho-Oh Tower and all the other shit, Bellsprout Tower and
Hmm.
whatever the hell. I'll always remember going to Saffron City and it's like, no, you cannot go to this next city, motherfucker. Until you beat this gym leader, you cannot go to the city. So you're stuck in the city and you're like, all right, what the fuck do I do now? I guess I'll go back.
Yeah.
I'll go back to Lavender Town
Yeah. And it
and
was
then figure my
very
life out
frustrating.
there. Yeah, it was very frustrating, but I knew the towns. And I feel like I knew the people. But then again, we're in like the ninth generation, so I don't even know anybody past like the
Yeah,
third
yeah.
generation.
Even though I could go
So I don't
back
know
and
what
like draw specifically where people were on the maps in the first
absolutely.
two.
Absolutely. You could draw the Kanto region and you're
Yeah,
like, all right,
yeah, yeah. Pretty well,
this
I
was
think.
here. This was here. We should make that a task one day. We
It,
should do
it would
it.
be really fun. I can barely fill in a map of the U.S. and then I wonder which I could do better. Even it would be humiliating to find out.
We're gonna do that one day.
Yeah, either way, the
Um
answer would be bad.
yeah, absolutely. So Paldea region, I'm not even gonna go over the towns. The towns don't matter. They all have interesting Italian, Spanish names.
Yeah,
Um so they are what they are. Um you're pretty much put in the middle first and say go to school, and then send you to school and they're like, all right, go explore the world,
yeah.
and you can come back for class when you need to
The
take classes.
I a lot. Once again, nobody liked the whatever it is. Uh, you know the tutorial aspect of the game. Like,
Yeah,
it was once
no,
again terrible.
yeah, and also kids don't like school.
Yeah,
Why would I
yeah.
want to?
Why? Yeah,
I don't.
stop doing like. There's no academies. We know there's no academy. Stop it.
Yeah, like you learning your stuff out in the street, man. Come on, man. Like,
Yeah, the first thing
I
you
don't
want
need
to
to
do
learn
when
about
you're in the
Pokemon.
school is leave.
Yeah, I'm like, how do I get out of here? Where do I leave? Oh,
Yeah,
they set me up with a room here. How do I get out? That's what I kept. I think I kept going into the closet.
yeah,
Um,
and then like I kept getting confused with like who were the new teachers and who I like kept thinking was like I kept getting confused with the Arceus school.
yeah, but the gym leaders were the teachers, which was like, what? I was like, but wait,
Yeah, which like again, it's like stuff that like kind of seems you know somewhat thought through, but then it's like oh, okay, this is mostly
right?
kind of clunky.
Well, I don't even want. All right, let's go through the story.
All right,
Let's see what happened in this game. There's three paths to take. There's the Victory Road path. So you have this annoying chick named Nanoma, who is a champion rank, but purposely uses weaker Pokemon to
again,
battle
something they
you.
have that like almost makes sense, but like there's no like, oh, I had to like you can't competitively use Pokemon that have won before. Like they don't say
Right.
anything like that. Like easy like world building they just don't do.
So there's the 8 gyms, kind of like regular. They keep it very regular. 8 gyms, go battle them. But the gyms now have tasks. So instead of like all the trainers you have to face, you have to go and do things before you. Like the
Kind of
first gym, you have to go
basically
kick
them
that ball.
reusing
Sun and
uh
Moon stuff.
yeah, and what was it? The totem Pokemon from the last one.
Oh, right, right, right. Yeah, right. Um, but the gyms are pretty. You could do them in any order. That was the that was the caveat. You could do them
Yeah.
in any order, but you'll lose if you go to the
Yeah,
wrong one.
exactly.
That's the
That's like
point.
that's why I'm like whenever they say stuff like this, like hey, you can try, but like it's a dumb gimmick, and also I don't care about that.
Yeah, I did the eighth gym sixth. I was like I don't know. I thought they were stronger, and then I ended up doing like the last two gyms out of order too. So I was super overpowered by the time I reached the eighth gym I had to get. But
Which at least like if you did that in the old games, it was like hard to do that.
you could do that in the old games. You could do that like there's maybe like one opportunity you could do that. You
Yeah.
maybe could go do Saffron City before you do Fuchsia City Gym,
Hmm.
or vice versa. Like it depends where you go. They weren't going to stop you,
Yeah.
but like you can't do that for the rest of the game
Hmm. Hmm.
because Giovanni is not at his gym. He's
Yeah.
taking over the world. He's plotting terroristic things.
Yeah. Literally, he's
He's
doing
not at the gym
terrorism.
until you can get 7 badges. You can't battle him. Let's see. Path of Legends. So Arvin tells him about 5 giant Pokemon known as Titan Pokemon. Where have we seen this before? Giant Pokemon. Um, literally last gen. They're collecting Herba Mysticas, which sounds like a drink.
Yeah. Like this is
Um,
where it starts to lose me. I'm like, okay, what? This is like you're finally really pumping a story into these, and it doesn't make like and it like it's not interesting. It isn't.
no, nah. Legendary herbs seem to have amazing health benefits. Amazing. Um, to during the quest to defeat the Titans, the player's dragon gradually regains its old abilities by eating sandwiches made with the Herba Mystica. So this is where the sandwiches come in. But really, it's to give you fly and surf and
Yeah.
rock climb and all this. So it's an interesting way to incorporate those type of things. But sandwiches, I don't know. Um, Arvin reveals he wants to use his Herba Mysticas to heal his partner Mabostiff. Um, After all the Herba Mysticas have been collected, the player's dragon has recovered all its former powers, excluding its ability to battle. How convenient. Um, but the Mabostiff makes a full recovery, and I think that's roughly it. Then you battle all the robot Pokemon and shit, essentially. Like the
Yeah.
Path of Legends wasn't. It was like, all right, run after this Pokemon for like 10 minutes and then
Yeah.
battle
It's
it,
like tedious stuff.
and then it's gonna go into the house and eat their herba mystica. It's gonna go behind some rock and eat their herba mystica and get stronger, and you gotta beat them again. And I guess you're better off maybe using
Yeah, yeah.
terrorizing or
Uh,
something. Maybe.
and it just feels like I don't know, like what am I? There's a part in one game where you have to chase somebody, and then you end up like kind of battling them, and like it's just weird how much that aspect of the game has crept into like the gameplay at large.
Yeah. No, it's well. We're about to head into. So there's a Starfall Street one where they have a bunch of rotten kids who
Yeah,
live named Team Star delinquents, um,
yeah.
who have their own team.
The children employed by the terrorists.
Who all you got director Clavel disguised as an academy student named Clive.
Really
Uh,
weird.
they
Like a never been kissed type of situation.
I they try to make it camp where they're like, oh, it's fun. It's a
Yeah.
disguise. Get it? He's the old guy, but he's in disguise. Anyway, you go to all their, their places. The one thing I liked was they say you have 10 minutes to beat all these Pokemon. You got to throw out 3 Pokemon, and they're supposed to go out there and kick an ass. It never takes 10 minutes.
No, that's a long
This-
time.
yeah, I was like, what? Why would I?
Like 10 minutes is a
Is there
long
anything
time
else?
just in playing video games in general. Like not like, if you said you could play video games for 10 minutes a day, that would suck. But I mean like on one thing, 10 minutes actually is kind of a long time. Uh and so especially in this, it's like, oh, this is not a game where I need 10 minutes to do one thing. Like maybe I need 10 minutes
And
because
it's
I
not
was
like the
like,
timer goes down when the gym gets harder or something along those
yeah,
lines. No,
yeah.
they're all 10 minutes.
Like basically since like I remember actually there was some stuff in the original Splinter Cell games that was like impossible in the time limits it set. But like uh the in fucking a really relevant game that all the young listeners will have played in Ocarina of Time, when you have to like escape from the falling castle at the end, I was like, oh, this is gonna be the hardest shit ever. And then like there's so
Hmm.
much time. You have so much time to do it, and
So here's,
Nintendo doesn't often break that ethos in their E-rated games. I feel like.
yeah, nah. So I've always felt like I've played back in the day when I played other consoles. Um, done hard stuff.
Yeah,
This never seems hard.
no, no.
Or
No
like,
matter what they do, like one because the graphics still look goofy, like even when they're good. Um,
yeah,
but like that, I just how the fuck is there not a sliding difficulty thing? Like how can you not
they
like
did it once.
I
They did it
know,
once.
but like how like new game plus should be a thing in this. How is it not?
So you beat all these delinquent children and you learn all their backstory. It's very anime esque in terms of there's a whole like the screen turns sepia and they're and you see them and they're talking
Yeah,
about like, man, I wish we could go back to school, but everyone hates us, so fuck them. And
like well, we're getting a
um
little shooters here.
yeah, and then you beat them all, and then they're like, oh, here's your big boss, and then you find out it's the chick that's been giving you things all the time, who has just been essentially grooming you so you could battle her. And then you beat her, and then that's the end of the story.
And then here we are again.
Here we are again, and then you kind of have to figure out what am I going to do for the rest of the game. So there's 3 main stories. The reason why I didn't really like the 3 main stories is it didn't substitute for actual like world building.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. And they didn't really I feel like the three of them felt kind of disparate and didn't
Yeah,
congeal.
no, not at all. Like they felt very like nothing ever crossed over into something like when you're playing the original games. I mean, I don't want to keep harping on this because I mean it's like 25 years ago, but like Team Rocket was part of the game. Like,
Yeah, and even like now how they try to do like oh like the gym leader in this like they've like incorporated stuff from the anime where that like makes sense for the world, where like the gym leader has an actual job and function other than just like standing around all the time, except
Right.
that it just manifests itself in like a, oh, can you go do like a little can you round some of these guys up for me? And it's like, how is this the challenge? Like, okay, I'm just like, I know this is such a stupid thing to complain about, and I promise I'm not like sitting around thinking about it. But okay, so in this world, in any of the regions, uh and again, I guess this is going to be like pro the challenges of the old gym more than old gen gyms. But like, okay, so you're essentially like, you are in charge of administering this badge. It is your like sole job by the governing body of Pokemon, that because of how powerful Pokemon are, is like the central government of this world that otherwise is like kind
Mm-hmm.
of like perfectly utopian, it seems like no one needs anything, but like in these, it's like the way you're checking these people is by like, okay, catch, I need you to catch 12 oddish, please. And then you can fight me. It's like, that isn't hard. That's not challenge. Like, that's literally like every one of them is like some like fucking Harvest Moon ass task, and
Right.
then you get to fight the gym leader. And it's I guess actually it's weird that, or I think what has made the games worse in my mind is that they've gone from uh I mean, and I guess is the way that, like, you could say that, even before he was a Nazi, this is kind of why Kanye's career went downhill, or even, yeah, any musician, or anybody really that's, kind of really impactful, and then to watch Pokemon go from really impactful and like you know, but it could be said the most impactful game series of all time. Uh,
Right.
and I would actually say that's probably true. Like, I know you'd have to like say like, Mario, Sonic, whatever, but like Pokemon did
I
more.
feel
Uh,
Pokemon is a cultural. It is. It is the way they branded Pokemon. Just even over the last like 5 years has pulled it apart from seemingly everything else.
yeah, and
Like
like you
beyond
can,
Sonic having a movie, and I guess
yes,
Mario having a movie too, but
yeah, but
Pokemon's been having
like,
movies for fucking years.
you could actually start talk. You could get like pretty far into like let's say you're like, okay, me and you were standing next to, we're in line for a ride somewhere, we're standing next to random people. If we're talking anything about Pokemon, like just getting a little bit into the mythology, the random strangers next to us are going to know more about it than they are about like Tails and Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles
Yeah.
and Peach and Wario and all the, like, which that's crazy. Like, that's insane. So anyway, so what I'm saying is, it's crazy to watch Pokemon go from being arguably the most impactful game ever to then becoming worse by kind of deciding that they need to take things from other games, if that makes sense. Like, I would say a lot of the stuff that has made especially these more recent games worse, or more or their shelf life to be shorter or whatever, uh I think it's because they have stopped being innovative and have started taking from other stuff. Like, they've started playing catch up instead of, lapping people, which, like, that's
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
why it's, you're doing dumb tasks to fight the gym leader instead of doing a really like a pretty difficult puzzle.
so the reason why the first initial games all got 10 out of 10 out of from IGN at least were because of, I guess at the time they were very innovative for what they
Yes.
were.
Mm-hmm.
But as time went on, as you said, and then we're constantly, I mean, so this is our ninth this is really, it's not even our ninth go around, it's the ninth gen,
Yeah.
but we've gone around it like 18 times
Yeah.
because of remakes and other things. This
And
is the game. So instead of continuing to innovate the game, we're kind of like going through. That's why, to me, like I don't care about the shinies in this game anymore
Yeah.
because the shinies mean nothing because I can't even carry them to the next game. And if I do, what am I going to do with them? I don't play the meta game. Like
Yeah, exactly.
it doesn't matter to me. Like nothing. I reached this point where I know now I play the game, one, because I like Pokemon, and two, to actually for entertainment value. Let's see how this game is. Let's roll through the game.
Hmm.
Let's talk to these. Let's see what's actually interesting about the game. But like nothing else. There's 1,008 Pokemon now. I can't keep up, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I
I
feel the
have
same
my
way.
faves. I have my faves. I like my faves. If I'm able to bring my favorites in, that would be great. Other than that, I can't do anything with them.
Yeah,
Um, the gym leaders, I don't know these people's names. I don't know what they do. But
thousand
this is the
percent.
problem when you have this is the problem when you have a million fucking games
Yeah.
at this point. So now that's why always Arceus always just seemed so innovative to me because it was like such a departure from everything that I was doing on with the games and
Hmm.
not a departure like Sun and Moon was where they tried some different shit and it didn't work out. This was like, okay, this is a different way we're doing this game and I was like, damn, this is interesting as fuck. Um but I mean, we haven't captured that with this game.
I would say that the craziest thing about this to me is that even when I liked, you know, the Pokemon, I've always liked them being visible in the on the surface, and I like how many of them there were in this game. Um, but it really, I still haven't beat it. I would love to. I got really far in Shin Megami Tensei 5 last year, and it was by and large like a much it approximates an adult like difficulty style red and blue game much closer than anything in Pokemon has done in years.
hmm.
And it's like and
So
that's that's a Switch exclusive game. Graphics are
right.
not the selling point of it. It's just, everybody knows that Atlas makes great games, and it is one. And it's a pretty difficult turn-based game where you have to capture and build a party, and you can merge and collect monsters and stuff. uh Thinking about it now, it's even weird that because everybody had such tech issues with this one,
Hmm.
it's unacceptable for it to be this far in and for your game to be like this known for having tech problems.
Yeah.
Especially because look at the way shit looks in movies and stuff. Like people do not care about that at all in this day and age, and
Hmm.
like they really cared about it with this. And you're running on a proprietary engine. You're not running on Unreal, which seems I know they're not going to do that at this point, but like you're it's on them.
It's on them. Listen. So if I had my guess for this year, there's going to be one or two more DLCs
Yeah,
of
yeah.
this.
Which I can't say I'll
Similar to
be
what
definitely like. I mean, even if
uh,
I get them, I'll be like, I can't. I don't know if I'll finish them.
the last two DLCs were pretty inconsequential. Like
Yeah,
they, albeit better than buying the game again. Um, like I forgot how much the DLCs cost. Maybe it was $15. Maybe it was $30.
yeah.
Um, actually, let me look that up. How much was the fucking Isle of Armor?
It's Nintendo, so probably like the price of two games.
Yeah, it was probably like $30. Isle of Armor price. Shit was $30. Wow. I mean, I paid
Unbelievable.
for it, so I can't even.
I know. I know.
And I can't complain. I paid for it. I paid to run around and catch a Diglett all day.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm assuming we're gonna get this. It'll be interesting to see where they go from here. We can't really play on the lore of like, and we're adding these Pokemon to the game because no one cares. There's 1,000 Pokemon.
Yeah, like, do you know how good they would have to be? Like, yeah, honestly, what they would really have to do at this point, when I'm, we've recorded so many episodes, I have to have said this before. They would have to do a brand new 150 with only Pokemon that no one had ever seen. Like,
Mm,
just don't put any old ones in it. Just do a brand new one, and it's kind of weird that they have done other stuff but not that.
I mean, they did it in the original Pokemon Black and White, which I thought was fantastic because
Yeah,
it really
and
got you
when
to.
was that?
That was Pokemon Black and White. It's like a decade ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think if I was playing those, what
They
I
did
think I was playing those.
2010, I want to say,
Yes,
or
yeah, yes,
2011.
I know. I was playing this in my senior year apartment in college,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
these were I like these. I think.
I like they didn't introduce anything old until the post game. So you had to use all the new
Yeah,
stuff, and the new stuff
yeah,
wasn't bad, and I
yeah,
liked the new stuff, so it didn't matter to me. It was
yeah,
one of my favorite games. But they're gonna introduce DLC. There's gonna be new stupid characters and all stupid gyms and other new stupid legendaries and all this other stuff like that.
yeah.
Um, but we'll see how this goes. I mean, they'll have to wow me a lot
Yeah,
for
I
me
mean,
to
I'm
get this
always just
DLC because
curious as someone who's played it for so long just to see what happens next, even if it's bad, which I guess is like, why
yeah,
people follow, you know, the worst sports teams ever for their entire lives and shit. So,
the Knicks.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Big Nick fan here. Big Nick
Yeah,
and
I mean,
Pokemon fan here.
I've watched about 6 football games in my whole life, but I mean, I'm from Cleveland, and the Browns games have people tailgating in 20-degree weather every single week. So
It is what it is.
yeah,
I mean, that's a review for this game. It's a 6 out of 10. Would you say worthy of this
yeah. I
score?
mean, yeah. I think if they want to knock it with that, then I'll say yes and pretend they changed some of their other scores. That's that's how I feel.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I would agree because yeah, there's definitely some scores that could be brought down. Um, but with that said, well, thank you guys for one waiting on this. If you were listening to this after the game was released, like what 3 months ago,
Yeah,
2 months
sorry,
ago.
we're adults. We had to do other stuff.
Yeah, and also games still exist. It ain't going
Yeah,
nowhere.
yeah, yeah.
You can
We
listen to
sorry we didn't do a one listen review.
Yeah, this is a good post mortem on this game that
Yeah,
you've been playing or not playing for 2 months. Uh, so we have that. I'm sure there's gonna be DLC this year. Ash retires this year, so I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a big deal. I'm sure they'll release more cafe stuff, Pokemon Cafe stuff. You know how much we love that.
just keep
Um,
releasing giant stuff that like look is amazing, and then by the time I see the tweets about it, it's been like sold out and unavailable in America for like 2 weeks. Because if
Life
it
size
isn't sold
Marie,
out, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble.
yeah, life size Marie will get you one.
Yeah.
Um, but thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, Meelz. I'm here with Pat, and yeah, we'll when the game calls again, we'll
Yeah,
be there,
exactly. Who knows?
right? So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Peace.